attention with a view to Professor Delvin. Number of will be looking. First, on Professor Ndifon, Women Affairs Minister apologized for anti-victim comment. And from Ondo State, man assaults Women Affairs Commissioner during palliative distribution. And on cyberbullying, police nab man for selling ladies' news on social media. These are the issues we're looking at today. And our guest for today is a legal practitioner and human. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Society watching Atlantic Television Network, and I won't be doing this alone. I have with me Immaculata Jacob Irigana. It's so good to have you here. You're welcome. And our guest for today is a legal practitioner and human rights activist, Uzo Samuel. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here again.
Good to have you. Okay, let's start our first issue. The Minister for Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, has reaffirmed her commitment to defending and advancing the rights and welfare of Nigerian women, including the pursuit of justice when these rights are violated. In the wake of the criticisms that has followed her leaked audio regarding the University of Calabar sexual harassment case involving the Dean of the Faculty of Law, Professor Cyril Ndimfon, sexual harassment allegations leveled against him. In a statement issued by Director of Press and Publicity, Olujimi Oyetomi, the minister said, "I wish to express my sincere apologies to those who were offended by my comments and actions regarding the sexual harassment scandal at the University of Calabar. This is extremely regrettable as my intentions were sincere and aligned with my consistent advocacy for the welfare of Nigerian women and the pursuit of justice." She also expressed deep concern over the escalating cases of sexual harassment across campuses and emphasized the need for decisive actions, assuring that her ministry would actively seek justice for those affected. ATN recalls that the minister had, in an online audio, purportedly insinuated that the students were being used and manipulated by some people to get Ndifon out of office. In a trending audio, she was heard threatening the students of UNICA with their consequences, including imprisonment, if they continue to pursue the case of sexual harassment against the suspended Dean of Faculty of Law, Professor Cyril Ndimfon. According to the audio, the minister said, since the female students had admitted that they were not raped, he meant they were not sexually harassed. And of course, that audio really sparked a lot of reactions on the internet. But before we even talk about her apologies, she said, since the female students have admitted that they were not raped, it means there was no case of sexual harassment. Barrister Uzo, what is your take? That because there is no proof of rape, there is no sexual harassment?
First and foremost, it saddens me that somebody of that esteem in government would dive into issues that govern matters that have not been determined by the court. And to a great extent, these are two different offenses. Sexual harassment on its own is different from rape. Let me just throw more light to that. Rape is when there's unlawful penetration. That's different. Sexual harassment on its own is also a different thing. Once there's a body contact, once there's this unlawful interference, with somebody's a female or a male's, you to an extent. What I'm trying to say is that there are two different offenses under the law. So there could be a situation where you could get sexual harassment. There could also be a situation where there is rape. These are two different offenses. So she now trying to collaborate those two offenses very saddens me because I was really, really disappointed to a great extent. This is my point of view anyways. It's reports on issues like that. She should have allowed the matter to roll off and allowed the right persons to handle such matters, talk on those matters, and probably strike judgments. Thank you.
It's okay that she has actually apologized for that single statement, even though it's offensive, because if the women did not come out to talk about it, I think she wouldn't have thrown her word. If your child was there, there is no way you will come out and even talk about being whether sexual assault or whatsoever. Remember, the students were talking about a man. You want them into this. If you don't do it, you're not going to get out of it. You're not going to get this result. You're not going to get this. Yeah. So it does not matter whatever thing that she's coming out to say now. But again, I will ask, do you think that even with her apology, she should be punished for this?
Oh, once you go against the law, you should be punished. But what has not committed an offense to a great extent. So I don't think she should be punished under the law, because whenever you describe punishment is when you've gone against the law. So her apology enough, it's good enough, But what saddens me is that her position in government, she's even the Minister for Human Affairs. So, these are situations where she's supposed to come out and even be behind the students and trying to see how these matters can be addressed, because to a great extent, our students really go through these things in the universities. And nobody has really come out to say, I want to take this thing up. I want to make sure that lecturers that go into such, or university officials that go into such matters that are against the law should be penalized. So I don't see any reason why she will come from the aspect of the defense, from the male. She's a female. And of all rectifications, she's our minister that takes care of anything that has to do with the ladies. So I am so disappointed from her point of view anyways.
You're saying, apart from being the Minister of Women Affairs, that she's also a woman.
Yeah.
But like she said, she had carried out her own findings in her own way and realized that some people who were against the professor in that office of a dean actually framed everything up to get him indicted and get him out of their way so they can become what they want to be. Now, if she has valid information as to that, are you also going to say that because she is a woman and Minister of Women Affairs, she shouldn't have said what she said?
Yeah, no. So, to me, like, I still maintain my position. Someone in such position in government, she should be conservative. In issues like this, you should be very, very careful when you're striking a judgment. And there's one thing you should know. She's not the law court. There's a position and there are persons entitled to handle such issues. I would have preferred she would have even supported the students to probably charge the matter to court, for the court to determine who is actually saying and who is actually saying the right thing or the wrong thing. when you go up, it's an advancement. So to a great extent, I can say that she's not really in position to determine whether they actually committed any of those offenses.
Well, as much as you're on the opposing side of what she has done, she has come out to apologize. Are you going to accept her apology? And what do you expect others to do?
Yeah, what I expect us to do is to always follow the law and very professional. In situations like that, that's why we always advocate that ministers being appointed by government in power, they should go into using professionals. Because when you now appoint someone that is not competent in such positions, these are the blunders we always get. That's why I always advise that when ministers are being appointed, especially senior officers in government,
wise and perhaps standing by the women, like you said, the women have been all of this, irrespective of her reason.
Yeah, that was what they expected of her. And that was what I also expected of her as a lady.
Well, I actually like the fact that you said being in such an office, she should have been discreet with what she says, irrespective of whatever she knows. She have been careful and allow the Lord courts to do their job. Well, it's a good thing she has apologized, and I hope that everyone is going to accept her apology. Let's go straight to our next issue from Ondo State. The Ondo State Women Affairs Commissioner, Dr. Mrs. Olubumi Oshadahun, was over the weekend attacked in Agbigidi Akoko area of the state during the distribution of palliatives to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy by the government. A video circulating on the social media showed a man who used a blue chair to attack the commissioner. The commissioner was injured during the attack and was reportedly rushed to the hospital for medical attention. An eyewitness account said that the man, who is a member of the party, talking about the APC in Arigidi in Akoko Northwest, was present during the ongoing distribution of palliatives in the council. We don't know what had transpired between him and the commissioner. We just saw him when he took one of the chairs and landed it on the head of the commissioner. A deep wound was inflicted on the head of the commissioner. Immediately this happened, some young boys loyal to the commissioner also descended on the attacker and dealt with him. In an interview, a lady who said she's the commissioner's daughter, Dr. Mrs. Jumoke Bakare, told newsmen that her mother has since been hospitalized after the attack. According to her, my mother is in the hospital. She can't talk with you now. She's now resting. You would recall that the state government commenced the distribution of palliatives. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu was represented by his Information and Orientation Commissioner, Mrs. Bamidele Ademola Olateju, said in Isua headquarters of Akoko Southeast local government area of the state that 1,200 bags of rice will be distributed to 6,000 households in the council area. Now, of course, we all know about the issue of the post-subsidy removal of palliatives to cushion the effect of the hardship the Nigerians are going through as a result of the subsidy removal. But let's look at it. Now, this commissioner was chairing the distribution. I mean, she probably wanted to ensure that, I'm just saying anyways, everyone got to what they deserve. But whatever happened in their circle, we really do not know. But look at the outburst of the man in question. First of all, look at the fact that she is a woman and he had to hit her on the head with a chair in the public. What do you think of that action?
We know Nigerians, we have a problem with the rule of law. We don't always follow the rule of law. And this has been a very big issue in our country today. It saddens me again that a man will pick up his seat and use it on a lady's head. And when I saw this line in the news, I was like, it was so surprising. And I tried to read down into the news. I realized that the man was from the same party with the lady. And I also realized from what I saw on the news when I was going through the news, and I noticed that this palliative incentives from government, they did the same thing they did during the COVID. These things were distributed in secrecy, because why will a man do that? He was aggravated. Something popped up, but it's a very bad thing to do. It's just to tell Nigerians how hungry Nigerians have become. Also to tell the government to take diligence in this palliative process, because we are going to expect more more situations, like even more situations, because the more Nigerians get so intense, let these things be done down to the common man, and let the common man understand that yes, he has a say in that federal cake. That's all I can add for now.
We know that poverty, according to what the masses are saying, that it's now creeping in the streets. And of course, we know that a lot of persons want to attach whatever action they are, whatever thing they do to poverty and hunger. And now, like you said before, during COVID, this we didn't see politics being distributed in an open, not in all places though, but at least they are trying to make sure that this gets to the people, that the beneficiaries. And this is happening. Will you attach this reaction now, this mass action, will you attach it to poverty or hunger? Because you rightly mentioned that we know that in Nigeria, hunger is.
No, like I also said, it's not about hunger. Yes, hunger plays a part, but the most important thing is being sincere in the distribution of the palliatives. Go down. It was broken down to a layman's understanding. And to the best of my knowledge, I realized that thing went on so smooth. But the one about this particular incident, it was done in secrecy. It was done in secrecy. So it's really a bad one. Like I also said, we should expect what happened in COVID to come up again. If the government does not come up and do the right thing, people will start breaking into stores and start moving away with items. People will start breaking into government warehouses and start moving away with items. And it's going to be a very bad one when people take laws into their hands. And that's what I'm saying. Let's all be.
Do you see this situation bringing an end? Sharing of palliative.
The sense of palliative is to cushion the effect of. So when they do that, if they stop that, then you don't achieve the
Now, let's also look at you have said that one of the reasons that led to that fight or that attack was the fact that the distribution was done in secrecy.
Yeah.
And for the fact that the commissioner was manning this, one would expect that we'll see some level of transparency and all of that in that distribution. What do you think of that?
That's my own investigation. Like I said, it was done in secrecy. That's my investigation. You also can do your investigation. So, but to a great extent, I believe that when things are done rightly, you tend to see things go smoothly. You tend to see, like the NSAS process when it came up, when the police harassment and all that, when the government was not doing the right thing, people took laws into their hands. That's almost the same thing that happened in this particular scenario. The man took laws into his hand by causing assault on the woman. Using the chair on her, it's assault. So he's going to go in for that. But the thing is, if these things are done with all honesty and done within the, directives of the law and how it has, things like this will not happen. Hardly see things like this happen.
Yeah, the man took laws into his hands.
Yes.
Rightly said. You also realize that some allies to the woman also pounced on him and also gave him the beating of his life. What are you going to say about that?
I don't have much to say about that. It happened and it happened, Of course, she's a commissioner, so she's bound to have some security aids, that will always come in for her when issues like this come up. Because they were also not expecting that the man would pick up a chair and hit the commissioner on the head.
But what would have been the right thing to do at that instance? Pounce back on him and begin to beat him in the same magnitude, or do something else?
That's what I'm saying, that people should be brought to book. People that take laws into their hands. Nigerians are fond of doing this over and over again. You feel you can always do this your own self. There are always ways to go through processes like this when government assets are not, or what I call it, palliatives are not shared the way it's being prescribed by the government. There are ways to report matters like this. They have the authorities to go to and say, sir, ma, this is what I noticed. If possible, you have some recordings to show that this and this happened. And these persons will be brought to book. You don't have the right to just go and take laws into your hands.
Now, you are saying that if case that this happened, of course the government will make sure that quality get rights to avoid all these because since the beginning of this politics, we have been hearing different stories and all of that. What we are reading is different from what they are asking. It's more like do as you like, don't do as I say. So what do you think is the best thing now? Because you keep emphasizing on strong rights. What is the best way again to be able to spread it so it will eradicate all these violence?
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, the government should create a mechanism in such a way that it will get to the common man. Even the man that does not even have internet can also, take part in this palliative. Like they had the previous administrations had programs like Empower. They had programs like Shopee and all of that. Those programs are programs that cut across the country. It's better that way. You split the palliative in that way. There are other ways too. You go into transportation. You try and subsidize transportation, subsidize school fees, because the whole full issue is affecting, cutting across all aspects of government, all aspects of livelihood. People can't go to the market. People can't go to their farms. People can't go to do businesses anymore because of the inflation. So what I think is government should create a mechanism like that of Shopee, that of Empower, but a better one that people can go into, use the internet to do some registrations. People can go into their local governments and do registrations, and these monies are wired directly into their accounts. Government can do that. It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. We really hope that the government is going to come up with a whole lot of other mechanisms that would meet the demands of the people. And then for the leaders, also know that violence is never the answer in any case. If you're entrusted with any responsibility, carry it out to the best of your ability for Nigerians and, of course, the whole world to see that you are doing your best. We'll go on a very short break and we will be right back. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Society Watching Atlantic Television Network, and our next issue is on cyberbullying. Aman Chinedu Ezeudu, a native of Ndigba village, is in our talk community in Oka, South local government area of Anambra State, has been arrested for allegedly selling nude pictures and videos of a woman on social media. The man was accused of leaking materials after attempts to get money from her through blackmail failed. The man allegedly sold the nude videos of a young woman to persons who requested it for 3,000 naira. Like, yes, you heard me, 3,000 naira. The suspect was arrested by the Anambra State Police Command after the victim made a report to the Office of the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Children's Welfare, Mrs. Ife Obinabo. Media aides of the commissioner, Ms. Chidima Ikianyonwu, said the victim said she lost her memory card in March 28, 2023, but was later chatted off by the suspect in June with a request for huge amounts of money in order not to leak the nude. When she refused to pay, the suspect threatened to post the video on all social media platforms, but was confronted by the husband of the victim and asked to delete the video. But then he had already duplicated it. She said the suspect went ahead to release the video on Facebook, WhatsApp, and other social media platforms, including selling them to those who requested. Ikeyonwu said when the incident was reported to the Office of the Commissioner for Women and Social Welfare, Anambra State, by the victim, accompanied by Honorable Ejike Okechukwu, the suspect was quickly arrested by the Anambra State Command. She said the suspect, who is currently in police custody, would be arraigned before the Children's Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Court in Oka once investigation is concluded. Now, it seemed to be a period of sharing nudes on social media, and I really do not understand the gratifications anyone is going to get from doing that. But now, taking advantage of the fact that she lost her memory card, according to her, and someone who probably picked it up found such content in that memory card and decided to use it against her, tried to blackmail her, and of course she didn't fall for it. And the way to go is selling off someone's nudes for 3,000 naira, sharing them on social media. How grave is that offense?
That's a very bad one, you know. Blackmail, we have from the news or from what you just talked about, it's a grievous offense under the law. You know, it's an infringement in our rights. You know, you taking her nude pictures and trying to blackmail her, you know, for 3,000 naira. It's so unfortunate that 3,000 naira was what he asked for, you know, and the offense attached to what he has done, it's a capital offense, you know, and he's going to go in for that. It's going to be a very bad one for him if he's actually proven guilty for a court, you know. So, but all we should hope to see and we look forward to is to see how the law is going to administer justice to matters like this.
Now, the red hat yesterday I saw where someone posted, I have a particular new picture. If you want to watch it, you want to have it, DM me. I mean, it's not expensive.
Like it's a business, right?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe is it. I didn't know until I read this story. I'm like, this is becoming something. Do you think, despite that she has taken the right direction and of course the right action by the offender being arrested, do you think this will still have a way of affecting the woman tomorrow? You know, we are living in a country where when you want to stand out, your light just begin. I don't know if you know about that. So do you think this will still have a way of affecting her, despite he has been, I mean, the person in question has been arrested? And of course, the pictures is already, I mean, the videos have already gone viral. So what do you think about it?
Yeah, of course, it's going to affect her, you know, in the future if the right thing is not done. If the man is brought to justice and it's glaring that these memory cards were the man, it wasn't something she on her own put on the social media platform, and that's why we advocate for social media limitations. There are countries that have brought into some laws to limit social media usage, and that's why I don't know what Nigeria is doing about that. We have not really thrown light into cybercrime. It goes as far as even those that do fraud, commit fraud, obtaining money by false pretense, and all of that. All these things are capital offenses under the law, and they are punishable with serious jail terms. But we have not come to see, Nigeria coming to play that giant that they say they are in the administration of democracy by arresting situations like cybercrime, blackmail. When these things are being done by the government, you tend to see people running, scaring away from such offenses, and we tend to see less people committing such offenses, in Africa. But we have failed to do that, and I pray that the government will wake up one day and arrest situations like this.
Yeah, while we look up to judgment, justice rather being served in this issue. Now, there are a whole lot of people, like we said, these videos and pictures have gone viral. Do you think those who were party to sharing this and making it more viral also are going to be held as being complicit in this?
That's why I said we advocate for the government to come out with, a mechanism that will deal with situations like this. If there's a law that governs, things like this, such laws will interpret the extent of punishment. Whether those that are third party, they got it from somewhere, they picked it on the ground, and all that. The law will interpret what it's due to them. But for now, we are still working on that in Nigeria. So I look forward to see a great Nigeria that will, handle things like this.
But I hope you know that if she did not take this matter appropriate authority, nothing would have been done about it. When you're saying that Nigerian government, you're trying to say if I post something online and of course it's against what you're talking about, the government should just come and arrest you.
No, what I'm saying is that the Nigerian government should prescribe means of administration of offenses, treating offenses like this. When people, this thing about knowledge, when people are knowledgeable about what the law says about things like that, that when you do things like blackmail, these are the prescribed punishments under the law. You posting that on social media does not give the police the right to just come and arrest you. But if they are prescribed means of administration of justice, the police will do so if it's embedded under the law.
All right, thank you so much. Just be careful with anything you have on any gadget, any digital device. Be extremely careful with them. And we hope that justice is going to be served to serve as a deterrent to others. Thank you so much, Barrister Uzo Samuel, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Makulita. And thank you, our viewers, for being out there. I am Anita Obari. If you missed anything, you can follow us on our social media platforms, Atlantic